about it on Facebook. I saw a friend of mine who I knew from high school posting all these bellies, and where are my breads out there? Hi! Okay, so I was this close from blocking her, right? I'm like, I'm sick of seeing these bellies, right? So at the time, I was going to the gym all the time. I was working on the road as I was seeing her posts come across. I'm like, there is no way those things work, but I knew her and I loved her and she was so sweet. Ambassador Kim Touchton is who I'm talking about. And I'm like, there is just no way those things work, so please get off my Facebook. But thankfully, I never blocked her. And I was home on maternity leave, and I had an 8-month-old baby, and I had a 2.5-year-old, and things were really tight, and people didn't know, just like much of you guys, so never judge people. People didn't know we were living not even paycheck to paycheck. I was extreme couponing, and I just needed extra $500, right? I will say that. I needed an extra $500, and I finally messaged Kim, and I said, listen, I'm sure those things don't work, but I want it. So I signed up, and I think this is important. It's not anything to do with Instagram, but I just wanted to share with you guys since we talked a lot about your first 60 days, and I want to tell you guys what my first 60 days looked like. I did nothing. I did nothing with this business my first 60 days. I had a launch party, so I did do one little thing. Kim told me I had to, so I gathered up some people, and I had nothing. I had no party bag. I had my kit, and I wore no green, no black. My friends came over, and 5 people showed up, and out of those 5 people, I signed 2 distributors and 2 customers. We didn't know what we were doing. One of those people was Courtney, who's here today. So I just wanted to share that. So if you're here today and you've been in for longer than 60 days, it's okay to make today the first day of the rest of your business, okay? So that was my first 60 days, and I almost quit. And I went to my husband, who I missed his panel, but I'm sure he spoke to you guys about how we got started. And thanks to him, I didn't quit this business, and we jumped in to do it together. And warm market and cold market. I didn't have a warm market. I was still technically a police officer, but I was on extended maternity leave. And my friends, my personal family, they thought I was insane. My own parents were like, what are you doing? You need to go back to work, get back to the road. You wanted to be a detective. What is this rap thing? My mom actually asked me to make a whole new Facebook because she was tired of seeing my rap posts. And so I went to Kim and I said, Kim, I don't have anyone. I don't know what to do. And she's like, well, I heard about this thing called Instagram. This was 2 years ago. No one was really doing Instagram yet as far as it works with distributors. She's like, I heard about Instagram. I don't really know much, but maybe you could tap into that and you could try that. All right, so Michael and I decided to go all in, and I pulled up some videos. There was not any training from It Works people, but I have a degree in marketing. I'm like, I can figure this out. We did not have John Eric. We had nothing. So I jumped in, I downloaded Instagram, and I signed 3 distributors from Instagram that weekend. And that was the beginning of my business. And that very next month, I signed 17 distributors from Instagram. So that's what we're going to talk about now. How did I do that, right? Okay.
She would have way more than that.
So I'm going to talk with you first about the basics, all right? The first thing you need to do is download the app. Okay? Because some of you guys don't have the app. So download Instagram, all right? Then some of you guys, I want to talk just really quickly. Facebook and Instagram are not the same. And if you're like me, I thought, I was pretty tech savvy. I had Facebook before joining this. I posted all the time. But Instagram, I thought, well, why do you need an Instagram if you had a Facebook? I thought it was kind of an either or. I had no idea, right? So when I downloaded Instagram, I was like, okay, so it's pictures. It's just pictures, and Facebook is kind of pictures and words. So I gathered that. And if there's one thing I want you guys to take from my segment today is Instagram is your commercial. That is kind of what I gathered, and that is what I started to do. And for me, my commercial was cloth diapering, breastfeeding, baby wearing, couponing. That was me. That is what made me Amanda, right? So all of you guys, if you are just now working your Instagram or you're just opening up an account, I want you to find out what makes you you. There are many, many top leaders in this company now who do work in Instagram, and maybe you follow them for inspiration or what have you. But I want you to, don't try to be them. Don't ever try to make sure your pictures look just like them. Find out what makes you you. How many of you guys do not have kids? Raise your hand. A lot of you. We are signing a lot of younger distributors, a lot of older distributors. Well, I have some top leaders in my team who have no kids. So if someone comes to me and says, Amanda, I cannot be successful because I don't have children, I point them in the direction of some people they can follow. Do you have a dog? Do you have a cat? Do you like to swim? What is your hobbies? What are you into? You like something. Maybe there's a clothing store that you like. There is something about you where you can find people that relate and have that same idea, right? So that's what I did on Instagram. That is how I signed people. I found people who liked the exact message them and say, join my team. I followed people, and I was genuinely interested in getting to know them. How old is your daughter? What type of laundry detergent do you use on your daughter? I mean, it sounds crazy to you, but to me, that is something that we would talk about. So you first need to find out, what's your commercial? What are you all about? The other thing is, it is not so much about your numbers, okay? Some of my new distributors get very caught up in, I've got to follow 500 people today. I need to have 5,000 followers. I signed those first 3 distributors and I had about 600 followers. So it wasn't about having 6,000 followers. It was about, I got to know them and we became friends. The first 3 distributors I signed from Instagram were in California, Hawaii, and Indiana. So they weren't even local to me, and it wasn't until probably 6 months in that I started building a local team. I had those 2 little babies at home, and I didn't have parties. And I'll stand up here and tell you guys, I've had 1 party. 1. For my personal self. I have tons of parties now. I launched my local team and stuff, but for my personal business, my personal warm market, I have hosted 1 party. So you can be successful in social media and not necessarily do a ton of parties. And I will say you need to help launch your locals. That's a whole other thing. But for me, that was my option. I didn't have a warm market at the time. Now, I will tell you, after being in this business for 2 years now, I have signed 6 distributors this month, and 5 of them are from my warm market. And 5 of them are people who have been watching me from day one, who told me it was silly, who told me I would never make any money in this business, and one of them is actually my stepmom. 2 years later. So people are still watching, and I just want to let you guys know that just because people aren't liking or commenting on your things, they're still watching. I never liked or commented on any of Kim's posts. And why is that? Well, first of all, why are they going to comment on a post that says, who needs an extra $500? You don't want people to know that you're struggling, right? And what about who needs to lose 60 pounds? So just think about it. You know, some people get really caught up, especially my sweet yellows, right? We talk a lot about colors on my team. They get very caught up. Well, no one's liking, no one likes what I'm doing. They're still watching. All right, so I want you guys, not right now, but when I'm done, pull out your phone if you do have an Instagram account, and I want you to look at your Instagram feed. That first set of, it depends on what size phone you have. Maybe you have 12, 16 pictures that you see. And really look at those pictures. Is that your commercial? So that's definitely my challenge to you, is find what makes you you. Is every single picture a before and after picture? Is that all you're about? So you will find some wrap things mixed in with but I still, even though we live, breathe black and green, I do still have things outside of this business. So really look and see, are you being true to yourself? Be consistent, okay? That is the biggest tip. If you want to work social media, it is hard work. Okay, social media is, if you choose that avenue versus partying or what have you, you have got to be consistent. You cannot post today and tomorrow and take 2 weeks off and think you're going to build your business on social media, because you won't. I post several times a day on Instagram, not as much on Facebook, because Instagram is kind of where I spend most of my time, but people have to see your posts. If they're not seeing you and building relationships with you, they're not going to know that you do this business. Something like it was already discussed earlier, a lot of people have fear over posting on social media, and Courtney's going to cover more about that. You just have to make a commitment to social media. If that's what you're going to do, you have to commit to it, and get out of your mind this idea of being a salesperson. Okay, that's something I get a lot. I can't join your team, Amanda. I've never sold anything. I'm not good at sales. Good. I'm so thankful. I actually signed a new distributor last month, and she said, I've been in sales for 15 years. I'm really excited to do this with you. And I said, good. The first thing I want you to do is forget everything you know about sales. Because we are not in this business to sell things. We sell amazing products, okay? But we are in this business, like Tiffany said, to sell hope. And that is what we do. And you know, Michael and I just bought our dream home last month, and we now are helping so many other people find their voice, and whatever it is that you want to do, you want to bring your husband home, you want to be able to get your nails done, so whether it's $100 a month or $100,000 a month, that's my goal. Anyone else? We are going to take questions after my other 2 lovely ladies talk, but that is my basics of Instagram, so I hope you can take from that, find your commercial, what makes you you, don't try to be someone else that you're not. And especially build relationships, okay? People are on Instagram that are not part of this business. People are on Instagram to make friends. They're on Instagram to connect with people who have their same likes and interests. Okay? So I'm going to introduce Courtney. And a fun fact for you guys, 2 years ago from today, I had 1 distributor on my team. And that was Presidential Courtney Bosing.
All right, I am Courtney. I am yourself and out of that comfort zone. So that's what I'm speaking on today. I think getting out of your comfort zone is something that is so incredibly important and impactful for your businesses, because we are raised, conditioned to believe that, the normal is graduating high school and getting a job, or graduating high school, going to college and getting a job, get a job, get a job, get a job, get a job. Guess what? This is a job too, but not many people view it as such. And I had a lot of issues with that internally, overcoming the idea that people didn't have faith in what I was doing, or they didn't have faith in the product. So guess what? I didn't have faith in what I was doing, and I didn't have faith in our products. Going back to the job, a job is something that a schedule is written for you. Tasks are assigned to you. You complete all of these things that are on someone else's terms, and you receive a paycheck, right? This is completely different. You have to get outside your comfort zone to make this business successful for you, because it's on your terms. You are not given a schedule. You are not given a set of tasks, really, except for other than maybe what your leaders are telling you, but that's not even something you have to do. This business is run on your terms, on your time, and your success will directly reflect that. So to many, the idea of complete and utter freedom, right, is just bonkers, buku, never going to happen. That was my thinking. But again, because we are conditioned to think you've got to get a job, you've got to do these, X, Y, Z things that are planned out for you or assigned to you for your entire life. So when I started with Amanda, I had zero belief in myself. And that belief, that confidence went even negative, my first few months. But she had belief in me, and she said, I will believe in you until you believe in yourself. And so I took that belief for a while to help me step outside my comfort zone. And doing so has shown me, that you can have complete freedom. You are raised thinking that can never happen. And I'm telling you, it can totally happen. So I'm going to take a few minutes about myself and getting outside your comfort zone. But since we're on topic of Instagram and doing so, how many of you utilize social media as an avenue for your business? Perfect. If your hand is not up, you want to put it up, because social media is so impactful for your business. There are billions of people on this earth, and millions of those people are on social media, and we are a global company. Okay, there are lots and lots and lots of people for you to reach out to. So as I said, when I started, I had a lot of fears. I was afraid of blitzing, I was afraid of posting, and I was afraid of talking to people. So how did I become successful? I got the heck out of my own way. I got out of my own head. I remember seeing Pam at my first green carpet, and she would say, "Get over yourself." And I was like, how dare her? She does not know, what I'm going through. But I'll tell you, as leaders up here, we know what you're going through emotionally. We understand the walls. We understand your hesitations. We get it. You've got to just move beyond it. You've got to get out of your own way. You've got to get over yourself. So I did just that. I did what Tiffany Cunningham did. I faked it till I made it. I believed in what Amanda believed in me, and that helped. Were there hiccups? Sure. Not a lot of people know that, once I finally got out of my own way, I really started doing very well. Instagram has been a huge vehicle for my business. But there were little hiccups. I went diamond in June and didn't receive a good bonus, and that was kind of like, boom, a bust to my ego. And things like that would happen along the way that you would sit and you would think, man, is this God's plan? Is this what's meant for me? Am I doing everything right? Stop questioning it. Just keep going, I promise. So like I said, prior to this awakening, I hid. I have a long history of depression, so I didn't think what I had to say was important. I didn't think, I was a stay-at-home mom of two. I had a business that I had invested everything in that had just failed. My husband was working 80 hours a week, and I was home with a 6-month-old and a 2-year-old, and if you have 1, it's 1, if you have 2, it's 10. So things were hard. And I had this battle within that I didn't feel important. What I had to say wasn't important. This business wasn't important to other people, so I felt like a fool. I was living uncomfortably within my comfort zone. And so I want you to take that away today. You know, if you are here and you've never stepped outside of your comfort zone, are you truly comfortable where you are? Because if you're not, be uncomfortable outside your comfort zone, because I'm telling you it's a lot better out there, okay? I broke free. I went from this life of a mom of 2, staying home, not leaving my house because I didn't have a penny to pay for anything. And I just started with the training. I listened to Amanda. I went to her and I would say, listen, so-and-so wrote me this. What do I say back? Because I didn't have the confidence to make a quality reply, so I went to Amanda. I channeled my hobbies and my interests, just like she said. It doesn't matter if it was a hobby or an interest of yours from 5 or 10 or 15 years ago, okay? Go back to when you felt the most life. You know, like, I can't remember who was saying, but I think it was Kiko. Once you continue to go through life, you kind of lose that dream. Go back to when you were 12 years old and you had loves and interests, and focus on those and make pull posts surrounding those things. Highlight your products while you're doing something that you love or that you used to love, because those are the things that Amanda said. Those make you. Those are your commercial. That is what people are connecting to you on, okay? Those are the important things. My husband and I began using the products. Guess what? We had results, and so becoming a product of the product really helped boost my enthusiasm and confidence. And no matter what happened, like Amanda said, posting consistently can be really tough. No matter what happened, I posted every single day. If Kim and Amanda said post 6 to 8 photos a day on Instagram, I was posting 6 to 8 photos a day on Instagram. I never missed a post once I found that fire, because I knew that if it worked for them, guess what? It was going to work for me. And if it worked for me, it's going to work for you guys, okay? You just have to go through the motions and put in the effort, and it will work for you. Like Amanda said, I became a friend. You know, I would look at the people who were looking at me through their likes or their comments, and I was building relationships with these people, because if you're in a one-sided relationship, it fizzles out pretty quick, right? So you want to make sure that you are engaging with those people, and when they're coming to you and they're saying, oh my gosh, cute kid, you don't leave that unnoticed. You respond gracefully with a thank you, and then go to their photos, and then you're commenting there. It's all about being a quality person and a good friend. What else happened after that awakening? I was devoted to this business. I remember the day my husband came into the house, and I just started crying, and I told him, I don't care what happens. This is my full-time job, and I'm changing our lives, and I swear on my life, after that day, that's exactly what happened. It's amazing how impactful your thoughts can be. So skip these troubles and struggles that I had. You know, I really am so grateful that I went through these times, because it truly has shaped me to become the best version of myself that I really didn't know existed, which is so crazy at 31 years old to say, like, I didn't know that this person was inside of me. But the best version of you is inside each and every one of you, and hopefully this journey can help bring that out. And I think that I've seen that in almost every person on my team. Everyone has come and said, you know, oh my gosh, I've become this confident person, this assertive person, this just beaming person because of what we get to do, guys. We get to change lives, and that's as basic as it is, and it's the best thing in the world. So I'll leave you with this. This is kind of my team motto. I can, I am, I will, and for you all here, you can, you are, and you will.
And this is Ambassador Diamond Genevieve Sykes.
So Amanda and Courtney hit on some great points. We've all built our business mainly through Instagram. All right, so we have our story, we have our commercial, but how does that translate into people actually joining our team or purchasing our products? I tell my team this, you know, asking someone or talking to someone about the business Instagram should feel like inviting someone to an awesome party and not asking your high school crush if they want to get married, okay? So it's different when you are working a cold market, because essentially the people that join our teams through Instagram, we don't know at all, and they are in all different parts of the country. So if you have your story, you have your post, you're being consistent, just to piggyback on what Courtney was saying, it's about being a good friend. So social media doesn't just take consistency in posting, it also takes consistency in engaging, okay? Engaging, liking other people's posts, commenting, not just liking, but commenting, getting a discussion going instead of just saying, oh, cute kid, oh, like how old are your kids? Create a conversation there. I'm just going to say this, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but right now there's kind of a growing epidemic of It Works distributors and other companies just spamming people on Instagram, okay? It actually happened to me as a presidential and ambassador diamond. I received a message from someone on Instagram asking if I wanted to try their product at their price. And if they would have taken a second to look at my Instagram, they would have seen that I'm a distributor and that I'm doing okay in the company. And it's actually happened to all of us on our team as well. So what I'm trying to say is, do I message people and reach out to people about this business? Absolutely. I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't do that. However, make a friend first. So I remember I went to my first It Works U this last February. I had just promoted to Diamond, and I was still new, but I had such great upline, obviously, and so I knew, to be a friend, I knew not to spam. But I remember something that John Eric said. He said, please do not reach out to people about these products or this business until you have liked and commented on 20 of their things. So what does that mean? That doesn't mean when you're like, oh, this one's good, go down there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? Don't do that. But over a normal span of time, so when you reach out to someone, when they see like Skater Girl 94, whatever your name is, that they're like, oh my gosh, I know that person, like they have 3 kids and that really cute dog, that there's recognition there. And basically when I reach out to people about this business, this is what I do. So let's say, there's somebody that we've been following, we've been engaging, I'm like, gosh, I would really love to have them on my team. I think they'd be so great at this. My message to them is not very in-depth at all. A lot of people ask me, like, what are you saying to these people to make them sign? I can't make anybody do anything. You can't make people sign, you can't make them buy a product from you, but you can build trust. You can build a relationship, and that's what we're doing here. So my message might be like, hey girl, your kids are so cute, you have such a positive energy, and this business, I'm sure you've seen, it's totally changed my life, and I just can't help but think you would be so amazing at this, and I would just love to have you on my team. Are you open to making additional income? Can I just send you some information? If you notice, I didn't go into, like, we've been debt-free since 2000, I didn't go into any of that. We have plant-based, we have the skinny wrap, you can, I didn't go into any of that. I didn't even really talk about myself. I didn't say I'm an ambassador diamond making an average of $32,000 a month. I didn't do any of that. I said, I think you would be amazing at this. And in the same way, like, think about it. If a friend asks you, hey, can you look over this for me? Like, can you tell me your thoughts about this? The point is that even if they've never considered the business for themselves, or maybe they have, as a friend, they'd be like, you know what, I've never thought about it, but sure, send me some information. Whenever I built trust that way, and I asked somebody if I can send them information, I've never had anybody tell me no, okay? Now I've had people, and different teams give different information different ways. I've had people listen to the information and say, you know what, it sounds great, but I just don't think it's for me right now. And even if they turn me down, a no, and I've learned this, doesn't always mean no. Sometimes it might just mean not right now. And what I notice is that I still have a friend. I've made a lot of friends through social media that will probably never purchase from me or join my team, but we have a connection. They can continue to like my before and afters. They continue to like my drip posts. Something that I like to do that's worked for me, especially because it is a cold market, is after they have that information, I always like to have a conversation on the telephone. Because think about it, if they tell their husband or wife, hey, I met this person on Instagram, and I'm going to give them $99, and I'm gonna help him build this like a multi-million-dollar business. What? Okay. So for me, it's really helped to have a conversation on the phone, because that way you can sound excited. Even if you're not an outgoing person, you can still be excited. So I think that's pretty much it. So thanks.
So to piggyback on that, I love Genevieve. She's amazing. I don't talk on the phone. So I don't want to scare you. Now, I am trying to step out of my comfort zone, and I did talk to a potential distributor on the phone just 2 days ago. So, yes, I am learning as we go. So that's one thing. I love my team, is that we're always learning things. Genevieve teaches me stuff all the time. Courtney and I couldn't be more polar opposite, but I tell her all the time, like, she inspires me more than she'll ever know, because I channel her inner yellow, and I just love everything about it, right? So we're always learning from people. So look to those leaders, find leaders, even if, maybe you connect with me because you need someone that's red and tough love. We all have a lot of training in YouTube and Periscope and all of that, but find someone you can connect with, even if, maybe it's not your upline, maybe you have total different personalities. So real quick, do we have time for a couple questions? I don't know. Yeah? Okay. Direct message. She said, do we direct message people? And that's what Genevieve was talking about as far as cold messaging. But not cold messaging. Cold messaging with not cold messaging. I want to explain that, because you might see, my team, we say never cold message someone. That means that somebody just started following you, and you accept, if you're on private, you accept their follow, and 5 seconds later they send you a message, hey, would you like to join my team? There's no relationship there. So no, we would not do that. Now, if someone is liking and commenting, would you send a direct message? Yes. I have done that, but I will be honest with you guys, I've been doing this for 2 years now from Instagram, and a lot of my team came from there. I never reached out to them first, and it was never about the business. It was always about something else. In the beginning, I was still doing my extreme couponing. I don't have much time now, but I would take a picture of all my toilet paper I just got, and someone would message me, hey, what store did you get that deal at? And from there, we would kind of build the relationship. So yes, we are still direct messaging, DMing on Instagram, but not as soon as someone follows you. Does that make sense?
Why do you think it's more important to have private versus public?
Private versus public, that is like the universal debate. I will tell you that for my first 1.5 years, I was on public, okay? And I trained my team that way. Now I am on private. And I can't say for certain if it's because people get to know me and I have a lot of distributors trying to follow me. So I say do what works for you. I say try being on public first if it's not working, if you're getting a lot of spam accounts follow you or random distributors. I will tell people, if you are on public and you are having people follow you, 12-year-olds or a lot of men or whatever, I would encourage you to check your hashtags. Because that happens. I have, hey, I have all the only people that follow me are kids. Only kids are following me. So check what you're hashtagging and check who you are following. Because that's really important. So, yeah.
So when you're sending information, what kind of information are you sending to someone like direct message?
Do you want to answer?
Yes.
What kind of information?
So for our particular team, this is just what we're all underneath him touched in. I listened to a potential distributor webinar that's available for our team that she did. That's what we do. I have a version that my downline sends, and Amanda and Courtney. So that's what information we send. It's going to be different for your team, so I would just get with your leader and see what that is. But that's what we're sending them. Ideally, you want to send them something that speaks more from the heart than just, a bunch of like facts and figures, because that would have like, so I did need to know the how, but I'm weird. I'm like a mix of colors. No one knows what color. She calls me orange, like blue. Sometimes I'm green, but sometimes not. So, so that's what we send. But again, you always want to make it about them. Even when you have that phone call, I don't get on the phone. I'm not like, I don't do that. I just say, okay, so you saw the information. What questions do you